Most people don't stay broke because they are lazy. They stay broke because they are trained to think in ways that keep them there. And unless those patterns are broken deliberately, 2026 will look exactly like every year before it. Well, just a little bit more expensive. Now, being broke isn't just about money. It's about systems. It's about habits. It's about beliefs that quietly drain progress. That's why raises don't fix it. Even if you get a raise in your salary, your paycheck, it doesn't fix it. Side hustle doesn't do much. Even big time opportunities doesn't get to fix it because money only amplifies the thinking behind. Now let's talk about why people stay stuck and more importantly, how to break free in 2026. Now this is the first reason. Reactive money thinking. Now, most people don't plan money, they react to it. Salary comes, it reacts. Of course, you know what's how the of course you know how the reaction happens when salary comes. The bills arrive, they panic. Emergency hits, they borrow. This cycle creates survival mode thinking, which will result to short-term decisions, emotional spending, no margin for mistakes. Now, in 2026, breaking this means moving from reaction to intention. You don't need more money first, you need a framework. Now, the second reason is confusing earning with wealth. Now, it's a conception that people get to misunderstand or misinterpret. Now, you don't confuse earning with wealth. Earning money feels productive, but wealth is built by what you keep, by what you multiply, and what you protect. Now, many people increase income, they get raises, but then they also increase their lifestyle, they increase their commitment, they get to increase their pleasure. So you find out that the gap never widens. Now, the 2026 shift is understanding this. Income is few. Now, wealth is structure, and without structure, the few burns fast. You have to understand it. You have to keep this in mind. Now, the third reason is no skill leverage. Now, broke cycles are sustained when income depends only on time, depends only on your physical appearance. If you are not there, if you're not there in your place of work, if you're not there in your business, nothing is going to happen. It depends on single sources. That is, it is you or nothing. Now, when income stops, when you are eventually absent and income stops, you find out that everything stops. Now, in 2026, escaping this cycle means building. Now, building skills that scale faster, skills that can be transferred in the sense that even in your absence, it can still work. Now, skills that pay beyond hours. These are skills that you are eating, you're having a family dinner, and yet you are being paid. These are skills that you are on vacation and yet you are being paid. Now, money follows leverage, not effort. It follows leverage. So you have to find out a way to leverage your business, to leverage your time, in that even in your absence, you are still earning. Now, the fourth reason is delayed financial awareness. Now, many people avoid looking at their finances because it's uncomfortable or because it exposes mistakes or creates accountability. But avoidance is expensive. Now, the moment people start tracking, the moment you start reviewing, the moment you start questioning money, the moment you want to know how did your money went, how did it go? Okay, yes, I was paid a 200,000 this month or last month, and what exactly happened to the 200,000? Why is 25,000 naira left? So you have to track it. When you track it, when you're able to track your expenses, then it automatically means that you now have control of your finances. Because then, during the process of tracking your finances, you find out that there were some miscellaneous expenses. You find out that there were some petty expenses. You find out that there were some things you made payment for, which was not in your budget, or which would have been something you could have done without. So, taking charge of your account automatically means being in control of your money. Now, the fifth reason is social pressure and comparison. Now, this is the area where most of us get to fail, or get to get it all wrong. People stay broke trying to appear successful. Now, the honest truth is that success is being defined differently by lots of people depending on your own point of view. But when you keep on spending to keep up, to keep up with your peers, to keep up with your neighbors, to keep up with the people living in your environment, with your surrounding, to keep up with their kind of lifestyle, even though it is affecting your account, it's affecting your balance, it's backwards. All right? Or you borrow to look stable. You're borrowing to look. There are cases where you get to borrow. There are cases where borrowing is an option. Do you get me? I wouldn't want to go into that. But let me give you a little bit hint. Now let's take for instance you're going to apply a job. And personally, I believe that first impression matters, right? So now you're going to apply a job, but then perhaps you don't have the right um outfits. You don't have the right corporate dress for the job. You don't have or you perhaps you do have, but it isn't that nice. Your shoes a little bit worn out, and little things like that. Okay, you can ask a friend, help me with this, because at that moment perhaps you don't have the money to go get a new one, but now you need to secure the job. All right. And now when you look like, there are some kind of jobs that you apply for, you look like, yes, you are worthy of the job. Sometimes your appearance gives you some kind of credible mark even before you submit your resume or your CV. So in that case, yeah, I can advise you get to borrow. You look good, you get and secure a job, and then gradually you get those things that you need to continue to continue working since you've secured the job. But you doing it just to look good, you doing it just to to um to feel like you belong, flexing to feel relevant. But real wealth is quiet in the early stages. Breaking free in 2026 means choosing progress over perception. Now, how do you break from the cycle? From this cycle, how do you get to break from it? Now, firstly, is to create financial clarity. I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday, and during the course of the discussion, I had to be like, yo, you have to be truthful to yourself. No one knows you like you know yourself. Yes, there are advices out there, yes, but you know yourself way more better, way better. So create financial clarity and track your growing. You track before you grow. Because if you don't keep track of your expense, if you don't keep track of how much you're making or how much is moving out, don't this get to grow. Not really. Now, separate survival money from growth money. I talked about survival money and growth money in um in the last video. I talked about survival money and growth money. Now, survival money is that money that's, yeah, this is the money. This money pays my bills. This money pays my data. This emergency money. Those are survival. Yeah, you pays for your rent. Yeah, and then your growth money are money you invest in stocks. Their money you invest in in ETFs, in mutual funds. That is your growth money. All right. Now, next is to build skill-based income. Skill-based income. You have to build skill-based income. I'm going to make a video about building skill-based income. Though I don't want this video to be long. Now, next is reduce emotional spend. I talked about emotional spending in my last video. You don't spend because you're emotional about something. You spend strategically. All right. You spend with intention. You not spending with intention, it's not gonna be funny. All right. Now, delay lifestyle upgrades. Now you have to delay your lifestyle upgrade because you can't, you don't, even if in as much as yes, you get raises in your place of work, or you get gifts and stuffs like that. Those money shouldn't be money to use to buy something exclusive, something to make you belong. No, these are money that you keep around to build yourself. Do you understand? Now think in systems, not paydays. Now this isn't deprivation, this is you repositioning yourself. Now if this is your first time here, this channel is about real conversations around money, growth, and long-term thinking. Now if you're returning, share this with someone who needs a reset. I'm glad to have you.